It's no secret that TKO ruined WWE.
WWE has a TKO problem.
TKO didn't just buy a wrestling company. They bought its ghost, the shaped shell of what it used to be.
All TKO is focused on is dollar signs.
WWE's been claiming a whole lot from anyone doing reactions.
I am officially banned from IG.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all, fam. I think the reactions are cooked for me.
But out of everything, the most outrageous thing has definitely been ticket prices.
The most expensive seats for WrestleMania 42, $70,000.
Do me a favor, call up that agent and tell him to lower the ticket prices.
The possibilities as to who is on the phone with Randy Orton.
And color me surprised, it was Pat McAfee.
So I just want your take on, you know, McAfee coming out and kind of saying what he said. And
it sucks.
No one wants Pat McAfee at WrestleMania.
Are we watching WWE versus TKO right now?
The TKO executive pay has increased between 33 and 304%.
That a pretty majorly pushed talent was reportedly asked to take a 50% pay cut last week and allegedly did.
Are you stupid? WWE, TKO, whoever you are? Why would you get rid of the New Day?
So if we're at the point where WWE and TKO are willing to get rid of R-Truth and willing to get rid of other cornerstone pieces like the New Day, then anyone and everyone is fair game.
The modern version of WWE doesn't feel like wrestling anymore. It feels like one giant commercial pretending to be a wrestling show, and that's the problem.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Roman.
Roman, question for you. You said on the lead up to this match.
TKO, the parent company that owns both the UFC and the WWE, and has been at it for nearly 3 years now. At first, it was nothing more than a business milestone to us. The WWE was bought for nearly $10 billion. The Rock later joined TKO as a member of the company's board of directors. Nobody had a clue on what this could mean for the WWE, but for a moment, we all took a deep breath of relief, because one thing still felt safe to us, and that was Triple H still being the head of creative. We held our chest as a sigh of relief, thinking that this was just how the show would end, but unfortunately, it was just the beginning. Storylines were now heavily crafted by TKO. Advertisements are now more in your face than ever before. Ticket sales are skyrocketing at an alarming rate. Fans begin to show frustration, and even after all of that, it still led the WWE to have their best financial year yet. But even with that, wasn't enough to satisfy the greed. With talent being released, quite notably the Wyatt Six, a tribute act for Bray Wyatt after his passing, and the New Day as well, where for Xavier Woods, he has been with the company for nearly 20 years, while Kofi has been with the company for 20 years. It really shifted the company to an unsettling turn where even if you're loyal, a veteran, a fan favorite, or even in a storyline, you were still not safe. But how did this all happen? How did WWE go from feeling like a sweet honeymoon to a never-ending nightmare? To the point where the current product is being constantly compared to WCW in its 9 days to WWE in 2019. Well, unfortunately, it all started because one man who refused to quit even when his time was up 20 years ago. Vince McMahon. Hola everyone, my name is Nando for today's... Oh, wow, okay. Great, I'm recording and there's a smudge on my screen. Hold on, just give me a moment. Ugh, this happens all the time. Just give me a moment, just let me do it. New camera, new me. This is how it's all about. We did it. We did it. Little Penta shit over here. Oh my gosh. So, to the people who've been watching me for a while, or just been starting to watch me now, thank you guys so much for your patience. Like, this has been a long time coming. I know you guys were impatiently waiting for me to save my money and get this over and done with, but I did so. I saved my money for as long as I could, and here we are. Can you see me, folks? A big shout out to WrestleChop. He's a wrestling YouTuber that found my channel and complimented it, and the fact that a big channel like his came to my channel to watch a review, how he felt about it, like, to go out of his way to support me. Like, that is just another reminder that I have to keep this going, because there's definitely something to do with this. Whatever we call this. Like, I'm at a loss for words. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just Nando's. Like, throw your video link in the chat, please. Like, for real. Like, this is a really good channel, guys. And he just started out, so it's just going to get better and better.
I appreciate him for his lying words, but I'm kidding all aside. Thank you so much, man. I hope you're well. Subscribe to him if you haven't. But enough of all the yap, and let's get on with the video. Also, it's getting so hot in here, holy. So it's 2022, and Vince McMahon is still in charge of the company, doing what he does best, and that's making his writers rewrite the scripts of the show minutes before the show goes live, and booking decisions that just don't make sense. Let's roll the music real quick. Like, Big E was set to defend his WWE champion in a 4-way match, while Roman Reigns was supposed to face Brock Lesnar for the Universal Champion at the pay-per-view called Day 1. But then Roman caught COVID on the weekend of the show, so Brock showed up, and WWE didn't want to waste any of their money, so Brock got inserted into the world title match. He hit his 2 moves of doom, and Big E ate the pin, leading Brock Lesnar to be the world champion, and Big E was immediately dropped into the tag division again, which is exactly what they did to Kofi Kingston in his reign, and I'm surprised it took Kofi this long to leave the company. Vince then went on to book one of the worst Royal Rumbles in company history in recent memory. I made a whole video talking about that, but if you just want the summary, the Women's Royal Rumble ending with Ronda "I hate wrestling so much, why am I here" Rousey winning it in the laziest way possible. Then Vince saw the lineup for the Men's Rumble and decided he was going to cook up the worst Royal Rumble in recent memory, with Shane McMahon infamously politicking to be the final 4 men in the Royal Rumble match, and Brock "I hate wrestling so much, why am I even here" Lesnar came out at number 30 and ended the match in a quick 2-minute slop. Vince trying his best to make Austin Theory the next John Cena. It didn't work because Theory sucks as a heel. Just make him a babyface already. Not even Triple H is listening to that advice. WrestleMania 38 had New Day come out in Big E's gear to honor him as he had his career-ending injury from Ridge Holland, which is so sweet and old to see. Then they had him lose in 2 minutes. Vince made Roman win both world champions at WrestleMania because USA Network and Fox wanted him to work on both shows, but Roman said, "That don't work for me, brother," because Roman negotiated a part-time deal, which was granted, leaving him to win both world titles for no reason. It began the Judgment Day, where Vince McMahon had the group trying to look like the Temu version of the Ministry of Darkness. Edge expressed on how much this sucked to Vince, so Vince got mad and decided to cut Edge from the group entirely. It's crazy how this group went from this to that in just a few short years. Sasha and Naomi walking out of the company because of the mistreatment of the women's division, leaving the WWE to scatter dirt on the name to make as if the women were the bad guys in this situation and not them. WWE, you will literally have followed this. WrestleMania Backlash was still a thing. And lastly, Austin Theory entering the Money in the Bank at the very last minute to then win the briefcase. And I also forgot to mention Gunther beating up R-Truth cosplaying as Uncle Sam. Why was that bad? Because this was the segment that reportedly had Vince losing complete interest over Gunther and reportedly wanted him back in NXT. Yeah! It was that bad. And that is everything that I could think of just on the top of my head. And just when we thought WWE was going more into hell, then the allegations dropped. On June 15th, 2022, a big report had been released by the Wall Street Journal regarding WWE's board of directors investigating an alleged hush money secret relationship that Vince was having with an employee by the name of Janelle Grant. Now, it was such a big allegation that people accused would at least stay quiet about it until all things were settled out of court or something, but to Vince, this was just one freaking big game to him. Because on a last minute notice, SmackDown had advertised that Vince McMahon was going to be on the show to address something. And this had many people questioning on where this was heading, uncertain if he was actually going to be open about the situation. But all this man did was come out and just open the show to SmackDown, and that was it. And this was nothing more than a power move. He was smiling, the crowd was happy to see him and sing his theme song. This was his big FU moment to the woman that filed this issue against Vince, and this was Vince's way of telling her and everyone else around that he wasn't going anywhere. And then a month later, he just announced his retirement on Twitter. Which, you know, That's what you get for being too confident in yourself. Now, Vince retiring was a big thing coming, as he's been taking care of the WWE for decades, creating generational moments that will live on forever in people's childhoods. Which is so crazy that his long tenure of the company ends on a freaking tweet. And that's because more allegations were growing more public, with the fact that Vince spent $12 million towards 4 different women in the last 16 years. For comparison, that is 3 times more than what Vince bought for WCW. The company had no choice but to drop Vince for the time being, which led Stephanie McMahon to be the co-CEO of the company, and of course, as we all know, the arrival of Triple H coming in as the head of creative. This was the beginning of the, "Are we so back? Are we so back?" And we haven't felt this way since SmackDown 2016. And Triple H pulled all the stops to let you know that he's dusting off all of Vince's mess. Wrestling matches will give him more time. People were allowed to say wrestling again.
We're wrestlers in a wrestling ring. Let's just freaking wrestle.
WWE expanding to do more international shows. Title reigns were beginning to mean something again. Rehiring all talent that WWE fired before. And especially most, the storylines were consistent. You didn't get something for 2 weeks and Vince got bored and moved on to the next thing. No, Triple H had you paying attention to the Easter eggs that he left on the show every week, because that's how much he cared. Everyone was so excited and geared up for the new era of WWE. Then Vince saw all the happiness and wanted to kill it, because in Vince's very own words,
I'm going to kill what I created. I'm gonna kill my creation.
So Vince realized, hey, wait, I still own majority power of the company. So I'm back, baby. So Vince came back to WWE. Then Stephanie McMahon resigned her position as co-CEO. Then Vince fired the board members that were open about not wanting him back. He took part in writing the shows again, which led to many creative rewrites before the show happening again. But Vince's main intention of coming back was noting that he wanted to sell WWE. As Raw and SmackDown were getting billion-dollar deals from both USA Network and Fox, and believed that this was the perfect moment to sell WWE at its highest value, with the highest bidders being the Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, Disney, NBC, and Endeavor, the company that owns UFC. And then months later, on September 12th, 2023, Endeavor had the highest bid of $9.3 billion, which led Endeavor to merge both the UFC and the WWE to help create TKO. Now, merging UFC and WWE fans together? I don't know about you, but that's quite possibly the worst combo ever. But when a company gets bought, there is this worry that this is where the company begins to lose its quality. Because whenever a company gets bought, the quality begins to noticeably die out quick, because for the sake of equity, he's trying to save as much money as possible while charging a lot more for the product. But the only noticeable difference were the ticket sales slowly rising up in prices, and that was because the demand for WWE shows were really damn high. And understandably so, because a lot of people were coming back to watch WWE again because of Vince's departure. But now with Vince in charge and messing around with company morale and even the creative write-ups, what was it going to take WWE to grow some actual balls and actually remove this old man from the company? Were they going to remove him because of his terrible accusations? Well, yes. But that's only when the sponsor didn't want to give them any money. Because mere days before the 2024 Royal Rumble could happen, Janelle Grant had filed a lawsuit towards WWE, John Laurinaitis, and Vince McMahon in regards to SA, trafficking, and emotional abuse. And with this going public, one of WWE's main sponsors of the event, Slim Jim, wanted to drop out from promoting their product to the pay-per-view, and that's only when WWE was like, fine, we'll listen. Which is the same thing they did at WrestleMania 34, where WWE tried to make a fabulous Moolah Memorial Battle Royal, just like how the men have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. But fans were upset by this for good reason, as the fabulous Moolah was known to be the most evil wrestler. To keep it short and giving you a summary of it, she had a training school where she gave her students contracts where she got a cut of their pay and didn't even really train them. She put those trainees in hard conditions and even trafficked them. And WWE only reacted when Snickers was threatening to step back from promoting their product to the company. So WWE had to step back and remove any existence of the fabulous Moolah entirely. So folks, maybe that's just the key to get WWE to listen to us. Just send your frustrations to their sponsors. And so due to the lawsuit, Vince had to step down from WWE once again, leaving WWE all to Triple H's hands. Wait, why do I hear boss music? On January 23rd, 2024, The Rock had joined TKO as a member of the company's board of directors. And with one of TKO's members known as Mark Shapiro later admitting that TKO does have control over WWE and their creative, The Rock's first order of business was, hey, let me scrub that WrestleMania main event real quick, eh? So even with Cody Rhodes winning the Royal Rumble, pointing directly at Roman Reigns and outright declaring that Roman Reigns is his opponent at WrestleMania, The Rock made Cody the Cuck Rhodes declare that he's going for Roman's title.
But not at WrestleMania.
Leading The Rock to come in and hug Cody Rhodes and probably whisper to him, hey, thanks for this. Enjoy opening night 2 with Seth Rollins for me. And it was official that The Rock was going to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. But the backlash was too hot for WWE, so they backtracked and gave us one of the best storylines that they've seen in decades. It's 2026 and we still miss you, full-time Rock. We still miss you. Then in 2025, TK was like, well, last time we got involved, we made a really huge mess. So what if we did it again? So for the build-up of Elimination Chamber 2025, TKO had The Rock show up to do another story with Cody Rhodes to up-boost ticket sales for the show, even though Elimination Chamber was said to be the 3rd highest attended Elimination Chamber of all time. TKO, you greedy asses! And this build-up all led to John Cena turning heel after 20 long years. It was the most shocking heel turn of all time, being compared to Hogan's heel turn in WCW. And they did all of that with Travis Scott and The Rock, who was never going to show up again. Because the writers just had no clue on what to do with this heel run, and had Travis Scott help John Cena become a 17-time world champion. The moment was deflated because Travis Scott's involvement made no sense, and The Rock was too busy making the live-action Moana to contribute to the storyline, even though he was essential to the story. And the ads, oh my gosh, the ads. I'm all for a company making extra money, but if the ad breaks are longer than the wrestling show that you produce, then maybe you have a problem. To me, I don't care if it's in the ring because you barely notice it. Just don't put ads on the freaking weapons because it makes the wrestling look really silly. Then in 2026, a whole cesspool of celebrities were coming in. Quite notably with Pat McAfee being Randy Orton's manager and Jelly Roll being involved in the hype towards Randy Orton's match with Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. This was your main event to a WrestleMania. It never made any sense, and it was all done by TKO for the sake of giving exposure to Pat McAfee, because the CEO, Ari Emanuel, just sees Pat as this big future actor like Sylvester Stallone, which really didn't help because it made people loathe to see Pat McAfee at all. It was so bad that Pat asked to stop the story, which led the story to end in a very dull conclusion. These celebrities provide nothing to the table because they don't cater to a WWE audience. Lil Wayne came out at WrestleMania 40 and got little reaction. Same goes for Travis Scott, Lil Yachty, Jelly Roll, and many more that WWE wants to throw at us. Because in the celebrities bubble, they are a big superstar, but in the wrestling bubble, you are nothing more than a celebrity to us, that you provide little to no benefit to the product. The only real exception I say is Lil Yachty because he actually fits with Trick Williams, but everyone else, go away! Jelly Roll, I can tell by the look on your face that you must be the sweetest angel, and I appreciate you for that. But still, go away. And this year's WWE TKO has been its absolute best at trying to squeeze at your expense of your wallet as much as possible. Doing WrestleMania 41 in Vegas, then doing it in Vegas the next year, even when Vegas is too expensive to live or even vacation to. They're trying to stop people from doing watch parties for their shows so that people can be desperate and paid to watch their shows live. They're now trying to stop people from sharing clips on their reactions to their shows.
As an infuriating anecdote to back up those streamers' outrage, WWE once used a clip of our reaction video of Pete reacting to CM Punk's WWE return on Monday Night Raw. We played a clip of them using our clip in our video, and they copyright claimed it. They copyright claimed us for our own video. Then they also shut down our watch parties.
Doing all this effort just so fans are pressured to watch their product all through a paywall, no matter what it is. As board of director of TKO, Mark Shapiro would admit that Vince McMahon's biggest flaw was making tickets affordable for families instead of maximizing his profits. That's it right there. Just make Vince McMahon the biggest babyface in wrestling. How do you do that? And for anyone wondering on what's the main big goal for TKO, I will simply share this right here with you.
But TKO's mentality is do you want £100 now or £1,000 next week? And they're just taking the £100 now because they were looking for that short-sighted win. Because ultimately, they don't care that it's a wrestling show. They don't care that it's got wrestling fans. They don't care that it's got wrestlers. They care about making as much money in as short amount of time as possible, because likely it is they'll just sell it off to somebody else when it stops making them as much money, and they'll just move on to the next thing. And then that'll make a bunch of money. Then they'll sell that and just move on to the next thing, and that'll make a bunch of money. They don't care. Mark Shapiro doesn't care about wrestling. He doesn't care about WrestleMania. He just cares about making money.
It's all just a hit and run. They just need to come here and monetize WWE as much as humanly possible. And the same goes for the wrestlers. No matter what they do, no matter if they're a veteran or busy in a storyline, no one is really safe. If you're not profitable to them, or you're not willing to take it for the team by cutting 50% of your paycheck, you are out. And all this happened in such a short space of time, set in motion by one bitter old man who simply couldn't let go when everything was already over. And that's all I have for you folks. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and also if you like the camera that I have compared to the old one. And subscribe because of my new camera and because we're on the road to 365 subscribers. Don't forget that my name is just Nando. And until next time, ciao!